Hello everyone, my name is Rocco. Today we will speak about the Roman god Mercury. I thought about this because today is Wednesday and is its day, and Mercury is the god of alchemy, of travel, and of exchange. Mercury is the messenger of the gods, and as a planet, Mercury is the perfect planet to be in touch with your essence, and it is the perfect planet to realize what you have extrapolated from the Gospels. Mercury is the god of truth and is the god of the sword, meaning he is the god of Satan pronouncing his wisdom through another god, so being with the stolen wisdom of Jehovah, speaking it from a humbler mind. So Lucifer during paganism was present, but if it wasn't for the goddess Diana, then the goddess of the hunt and the great teacher, then he wouldn't have appeared. In ancient Rome, which is where I live now, there were many temples of the gods, but only one or two smallish temples dedicated to Lucifero, who is the Roman god Lucifer, the light-bringer, who wasn't known to be a fallen angel, but was simply known to be some sort of minor god who was the embodiment of the essence of the light. So with his romanticism, the angel always wanted to appear only up to a certain point in the teachings of humanity, although he was always behind the scenes to calculate it all. So the sound that you can sense in the background, I'm on YouTube on my TV, it's the frequency of the planet Mercury. So you can assemble to its energy while you're reading or while you're doing other stuff, and automatically you'll receive, because the position during which it was filmed is beneficial, and then the sounds and effects were cleared, and magic was cast. Then this is only the like a sample of the energy of Mercury that you can later use at your will. It's kind of like buying a purple candle and then using it for what you will. It's your choice. So this is also good to cast rituals and stuff. We are to employ every means possible these days while retaining our religion, whether we are pagan or Christian or Satanist and so on. So I'm starting to see this around, so I want to clarify that I'm a great initiate, meaning I'm initiated to various kinds of magic, and during my life I've researched and exposed the maximum truth that I held of each kind, and cosmologically I'm aware that the ultimate truth lays in the, so to speak, if people believe it, the Christian cosmology. And but I don't recognize myself in that today, and I recognize myself in another part of the creation that I'm discovering. So I'm working on different aspects of the various religions to find or to have been finding the truth underneath them all, and this is something that I've heard around quite a bit already. So I've completed alchemy in the past 1,000 years, and I've been that I was incarnated in different bodies, and some of them are now corpses, but I don't mind, because this life is my final life, and I've completed again the great work, and I'm happy about it. And I actually had completed it 4 lives ago, but it took me 4 or 5 lifetimes to clarify things and to clear it up, until I received the Philosopher's Stone, what Harry Potter still seeks a few months ago, still this year. So if people watching know, there's people around that still are passionate about alchemy. Time to say that Lucifer was and he is the greatest expert on the field. As a form of theory, perhaps Jehovah would know more, but in the practice of alchemy, Lucifer has helped more. So Mercury is just that, the essence of something that at first sight doesn't look particularly amazing. And it strikes me to see that this planet at closer sight actually has some purplish spots all around. It's of a very radiant blue and similar to cobalt, but not exactly yet. So the colors that we employ in magic are not by chance chosen, but they're communicated by Jehovah or the gods onto us. Jehovah in the Bible says that no God is above him, but nevertheless he acknowledges the existence of other gods beside him. And these gods, like Mercury, served a purpose of delivering messages all around. Mercury, like Hermes and the other gods and goddesses who live on Earth, they were fairies. So it's fallen fairies, where the demons in hell are fallen angels. And in the future there will be, just like it was in the past, at the beginning, only angels and fairies, and more broadly speaking, elementals. So gods, goddesses, and demons won't be present in terms of their current state-of-the-art look, but they will be going back to angels or fairy kingdom, and including Lucifer and so on. So this video I made also to clarify some aspects that I'm working on in my current research on some truths that have been hidden. Today I've bought a couple of magazines, and one of them, they're both in Italian, but this is called Mystery, and the title is La fine del mondo è vicina, so it's the end of the world near. So we've been hearing this quite a lot. I bought it because it's €3.50 or something, because I wanted to see on paper what it is that I found out, to see if the messages that I got from Spirit are alike the messages that are closing around the Earth on a more stable axis. I've read online people talking about the end of the world, and specifically giving a possible day to September 23rd. Certainly the universe was possibly in danger in the past, and most definitely this was due to things that will be revealed, and some of them can be revealed onto you, and for reasons that if you can read tarot and if you can evoke spirits, then you'll know that I'm giving it to you for a good price, for two people only, and not necessarily all the money perhaps that I receive is going to be well spent, meaning you don't simply need to have the money, kind of like the sword and the stone. You don't only have the money, and you don't only have the pureness of heart. You need to have what Osho said to be Zorba, the Buddha. So kind of like Lucifer Christ in one. So what Solomon did, he would call angels and demons. And you now read the novel, but there's people who've lived it years before and made more money than Dan Brown, not using fake news. So I'm here to say that there's no truth to the Illuminati legend. I'm here to say that this was something that got out of hand, that no entity could stop. There's some truth to that, meaning that it's believed that people who've had great success must have had an inspiration of some type of divine form, thought form, but that isn't necessarily Lucifer. So, and I dedicating my soul to Satan once more. This is something that I did 5 years ago. Then God told me that I had to be an exorcist, and things started to come back onto my mind, and on how I lived best lives. This I already knew, but more details on how I was chosen to carry out the duty of a light worker, on how I'm an indigo child, on how I am close to Doreen Virtue and others in the world in terms of being a spiritual teacher, which is something that Doreen Virtue told me through her cards when I was using once time ago the angel therapy once. And I was an oracle with her and Louisa in a past life, and I never met Robert Reeves in physically in this life, but we might just meet in the future. And I'm here to help other people to raise the frequency of humanity in terms of spirit being closer to source, and spirit being close to Lucifer for what he can do, and spirit being close to that was Italian, to east and west, because est is what east and west is ovest. So going back to the magazine, there's the mystery, and then there's the, it's someone drinking coffee. Not even sure if it's legitimate coffee, but true aroma. So it's time people take the two sides of the coin to research and to evaluate and to believe and to study, while retaining the truth that was spoken in the sacred books of, say, Moses, of Ramses, of Labolas, and God knows what. So I spent 2 years in the light of God, and now I'm back in it with having dedicated my soul to Satan a second time. And my duty now is to keep open all these groups that I created on Facebook, where each time I carry the different mask of the sacred priest of the religion, because in an immortal life, physically immortal, which is what people get with the great work and with vampiric initiation, there is time. And then I'm using this part of the time that I have to be with Lucifer, say another couple of years. And I need to study these demons deeply, because I need to be a complete magician, working with all spirits in the future, while I will be with Jehovah, meaning that my soul will be in his hands, so I will be outside the satanic pact in time. Perhaps it's going to be 2 years, perhaps it's going to be less. Some people really care about what is the spiritual path of a teacher. So here it is, and although my spiritual path was designed, or it was by me refound to work for me. So it might inspire you, but at the same time, it's not necessarily meant to be for you. As it was shown on a literary level by John Milton in Paradise Lost, the angels have certainly fallen already. And then he's talked about Paradise Regained. I'm writing a book in Italian called Lucifero Celeste, which is about the myth of Lucifer reascending. This is truth that's been spoken of in various places. At least talking with my publisher, I rediscovered this truth that he and then I have another book that's coming up after that, which is The Psychology of the Demons. So still casting spells for all types of magic, not including angel magic and not including everything that's Mother Mary, the Trinity, and the saints, because that's of course the prophets and most ascended masters, because these aren't in the dark, but at the same time they're in the light. Working with the elementals and others, because these entities for the alchemical work that I brought forward are entities that I was deliberately allowed to work with during a pact with Satan, which is a true blood pact, which takes your soul away from the assignment and care and management, say, of God, Jehovah, and gives it to Lucifer full-time. There's a limit of good things that Lucifer can do to your soul, and he can't harm it in the most direct sense of the word, but he can definitely oversee it, and he's overseen mine, and he's overseen a lot of others. So I have different groups online: Angel and Fairy Magic, Spiritual Satanism, Esorcismo, and others that I'm bringing to the light. I'm not here to thank anyone, but I'm here to give you the image of who I am. So please research on me before avoiding me or contacting me, because I'm here to make a lot of money and a lot of disciples. So there's only one truth that is truth, but there's a lot of, like I've been exposing, there's a lot of things that people don't know. So I find the current level of humanity to be spiritually really low. I don't find there to be a Dane spiritual teacher, because the only one that I had love for was Dream Virtue, but she's used her powers in the wrong way. So she's not going to pursue her dreams in the long term. But she's given us a lot, but perhaps she's going to be saved. At the same time, her energy isn't ready right now for what she was prepared for, and she is alchemically downwarded. So alchemy is something you can gain and you can lose if you haven't completed the great work. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. Everything has to be deserved, everything has to be fought for and believed, and everything has to be renounced in order to find the true light within. So there's a lot of things that put together and a lot of things that separate us, and things that are put together by God. No one wishes to separate, and no one ultimately can. In the meantime, we've come here to the temple of Mercury, and again, so I am, right now I consider myself to be, again, a Luciferian and a vampire, or a Satanist and a vampire. In the future, I will be the only vampire worldwide who, and only true vampires are those who have made a pact with Satan, selling to him his soul in a stable way, and they have consecrated themselves in the proper way to the cult of the undead, which is something very rare. And then you can't be a vampire straight going there from Jehovah standpoint. You should first dedicate your soul to Satan, like they say. People pretend to be Satanists. There's clear signs that I can see spiritually of people having been taken by Lucifer and people not having been, and I've managed in this group about spiritual Satanism where I see that people haven't been really honest, and there's a lot of people who try to get to Lucifer simply for the money, and there's people who try to get to God, which is even worse, simply for an afterlife. So it's like being really confused. So I will be some sort of hybrid. A hybrid doesn't mean a vampire who at the same time drinks blood and feeds off people's energy, but it's an energy that called vampiric, that in my case will be with a twofold purpose, so being on God's side and being on Satan's side, kind of like in that movie Blade. So I will be in quotes a Saint Michael vampire of some sort. So my two guardian angels, meaning my two main spirit guides, always were and have always been, always will be Lucifer in whichever format he comes to be, and Saint Michael. So right now I'm learning from one of them, and Lucifer gives me everything, and then Michael sort of stabilizes it and gives me his humor, which is different than Lucifer's, because it's more open. So I wouldn't be a person that is happy enough for if it wasn't for Michael, and then I wouldn't be someone who is maybe if it wasn't for Satan. So everything is relative, but we have an absolute, and this absolute people like to call by many names, but not God. So this is all great, and initiation isn't a thing that's required to be the way that you think it is. It's required to be the way that the gods are. And if they invite you onto a circle, then you're not waiting for the Babalawo or the pagan Anglo-Saxon priest or God knows what. The only baptism that requires formality is the baptism done in a Christian church. At the same time, I've heard stories about Jesus baptizing people spiritually, and meaning his spirit being on earth baptizing people after his death. So and it's happened recently too. So you don't need to be baptized by a priest necessarily, even, because that's not the aforementioned authority of Jehovah. Is part of it. So part of it is through witches, and part of it is through wizards. I'm also here to give, like Nostradamus, 3 great news about, first, the holy, they call it, Church of Rome being destroyed, and consequences, and bad news concerning the 3 main monotheistic religions for sure, especially good things for the Muslim race as a replacement, and perhaps Rome being lit on fire, or the Vatican exploding, and the angels of light going to hell instead of the angels of darkness. This, honey, we can't know, but what we do know is that God condones. So when he will, then you let me know. This is my home, and it's located in Rome. It's geographically okay for you to come here. Internationally or nationally, for, although I prefer international, for classes and for say workshops, so people can sleep around my house, not more than 8. And with me leading, there can be possibilities to evolve, meditate, and simplement réfléchir, comme ça se dit en français. And so, we're not reading from, I'm just making fun of the Ring Virtue, we're not reading from the Jesus-centered Bible, but we're reading from your heart. So, honey, you just have to read from your heart, and you have to read for yourself. So I don't have a Bible at hand, but what I want to do is I want to show you who I am with your glasses. So I have 2 messages from Jehovah, one hypothetical message from Christ, Then we'll talk of Mercury, and then I have one actual message is from my god Lucifer. During all my life, I have pursued different paths and interests. While I would give myself an actual path as an absolute, and when I had discovered Christ, I thought that he was. Now I am with Lucifer, and I will go back to God soon, in quotes, but not before 4 or 5 years, maybe. And I am now with sworn Satan, but after my soul returns to God, which doesn't mean that I will die, because I won't, but meaning when I will undo the pact and rededicate my soul to God, then I will also be so kind to continue on my path of my life purpose, and which is to be involved with spiritual work encompassing the whole spirit world, like every magician. And I hope you will understand the rest. Also, I love you, so I'm not here to hurt you. My services will be promoted soon enough for you to like what I'm doing. So I will have a website online soon, and I'm giving myself a year off this year from my partner Andy, who will be working with me again in a year and a half, 2 years from now. And he's spending a year being, which is something he had never done before, although he considered himself a Satanist in the past. He'll be an asexual vampire, meaning when you become of the vampire religion, you are asked by the gods if you want to continue to have sex or not. And although chastity was a temptation for me, but I had to turn it down to become more physical. So a vampire is characterized by his intelligence, and a werewolf by its brutality. Example. So if you want to turn, or if you want to initiate, and I'll still teach angels, fairies, and I still work with the elementals. And one thing I can do is I can't go to churches. I can't. These are the downside of what Satan tells you not to do while you are dedicated to him. So with your dedication, your feelings change, but you have to understand that hell is full of different energy, and there's ways to have a different DNA to improve it. If you consider that Lilith was chosen as the first woman, it comes as a consequence that Eve didn't have, well, not she had a shit DNA, but she didn't have the best DNA, or the DNA that was useful for the development of the future human race. So this is why people are coming up with this world of inventions and things and grand achievements. So the way to evolve spiritually for Rome, Italy, will be the path with Satan, and 25% of the population will do it, and it'll stay that percentage across the centuries. And in about 644 years, the apocalypse will come. So, and I think it's going to be in Brazil. So this and other truths I can reveal to two people entirely for what I can. 10,000 euro is the price that you can send via PayPal to know these truths. If not, if you content yourself with little, write to esotericservices.america@gmail.com. I will soon have a new partner, and I will be spending 1 year dedicated to magic and self-development alone. So you'll see me changing, and I don't need to justify myself, and God wants you to know specifically that this is its first message, that he will harshly punish. And again, if Noah's Ark is an example, then you know that God can be fatal. After all, he's the one who gives death. So never mind. So he won't kill you, but he'll definitely punish these people that are assembling themselves to say that as a witch or as a spiritual teacher or as God knows what, as a tarot reader, especially here in Italy, that we're not supposed to make money, that we're not supposed to make a pact with the devil. We're not supposed. Now I've heard the Pope said pranic healing is forbidden. So touching people with your hands to heal, it has become deniable truth and undistributed criteria for them when they do it. Like when the Pope teaches your forehead and gives a blessing, it has geomancy in it because he's reminding people that Christ has arisen through the blood of other people, to put it in satanic terms, and then you can unroll it. But this world of universe and anti-universe in the Kabbalah, Sephiroth and Qliphoth is something that you need to live. And if you want to live the world of the Qliphoth, at least 2 years of Lucifer are to be chosen. Ultimately, what I've been revealing when I was with God is certainly the Christian standpoint. And things that past that, or things that go past that, or things that go within it, then they are of Mephistopheles. It's the door of death, or death, which doesn't imply that people die, but that people change. But Lucifer charges it with fear because he charges it with love, but he can't express it, so he gets afraid. And this is how complicated it is. So second piece of news, that Jehovah wishes to communicate to you, but he can't because he thinks that you won't listen. Despicable Metatron is that he wants you to correct your behavior and be more adjusted to the behavior of Mother Mary. And also Jehovah wants you to know that Christ has a message. He can't talk right now, but we have been reported that he is in an altered state of consciousness, and that the aliens of Dogstar are clarifying him up. So it'll be a few thousand years before he goes back to being his full metal alchemist, but he certainly will be one of your kind soon. So a lot of things have been discovered and a lot of things have been spoken, but what the devil knows, the devil keeps. So certainly Jehovah must have been particularly inspired when he created the soul of Lucifer, and especially when he's added wisdom and other condiments to his essence, to his body work, because Lucifer is an angel that people can touch, and Jehovah is a God that people can't reach, but people in Christianity have always striven to tend to. First Christian being Adam. So good morning, Vietnam. And Jesus is subconsciously believing that there is a truth underlying all things, and a truth to be deciphered, and especially when his father told him that the truth was something that he wasn't sure of grasping. It was because Mary, he thought, told him something about a pony. And this is how he discovered that him being Jesus. that some things were not right with creation of God, and some things, some mysteries were present de facto, but they weren't being they were not traceable by him. He was not able to log on to that information. This is because the hacker, we're gonna call Satan the hacker in this case, the hacker kept all these secrets in hell where no Mary, no Jesus would ever go. So and Jesus is thinking that to him humanity is as beautiful as ever, and he is thankful and he is grateful and he is at the same time resentful. So it's nearly impossible to contact the spirit of Yeshua these days for him being busy. Busy is also the characteristic of the god Thot, or Thoth, or Totti in Italian, and this god is a god of the Acheron, and the god of healing, and the god of magic of Egypt. Not the god of the underworlds that was believed to be Seth at first, and then Nergal was chosen. And then Ningal, his wife, undertook a series of fights with Isis in order to save the universe. And the universe was ultimately saved, so don't believe bad news or drama coming from the outside. Keep a positive perspective. Don't trust Doreen virtue. People receive visitations of the spirit of Louisa, giving them fake news and propaganda. So Hitler has reincarnated. This and many other things are uncoverable to most. But when we evoke a demon, if we don't trust a demon, we can use the names of the God that Christians portray, and we can use these names to force a demon to truth, meaning to say it and not to use it against us. So it's all a big corruption pattern that Jehovah let fall, and the earth is certainly cleaner now. So I want to let you go. Lucifer has to say that he wants to tell people the way that they think, and he wants to tell people the way that he believes in you, and he wants to let you know that he believes in you, and he believes that you can make it here up until the apocalypse, when things won't be the way that you thought them to be so far. So especially beware of fanatics. Whoever wants to help me for free or ask for my services or whichever, my email is esotericservices.america@gmail.com. So that's about it. I wanted to clarify a couple of things on Mercury. Mercury is the essence of light, and Mercury is the lead metal that leads people to go without resembling Christ, besides resembling him in his belief. So because Satan believes to be God, I have to go, and but I wish you well, and I have duties for you. Please pray if you're a Christian, pray for God and Mary. If you aren't, please pray for, or if you wish to experiment, pray for Oshun, the African Yoruba goddess. Pray for Morrigan, and pray for Lilith to find a life purpose, and pray for Adam that he may live happily until he refines his lost soulmate, which is Lilith. So in the meantime, I want to send out greetings everywhere, and I want to connect with your energy, and I want to make sure that you understand what my message is. And if you're interested in vampirism or Luciferianism or anything that has to do with angels, please again use my email, esotericservices.america@gmail.com. I also have an Italian email, diopan@mail.com, nonché mi trovo a Roma e ricevo comunque tutti i giorni dal lunedì alla domenica, dalle 8 alle 22, o anche orari strani qualora non siete dei maniaci. Quindi lavoro un po' in qualsiasi momento come potenzialità e come ipotesi, poi chiaramente casomai vi sposto o vi dico di no. Voi intanto provate a chiamarmi al 392, il mio nuovo numero, 149 2007. In un momento di rabbia mi hanno rubato comunque il cellulare vecchio, il 346, adesso ho un telefono della 3 che ho preso gratis, quindi Satana questo ma soprattutto altro, per cui fidatevi che se vedete in me delle qualità saranno provenute originalmente da Dio e Satana avrà aggiunto dei doni, per cui il vero mago, io no, però il vero mago si inchinò a Cristo Gesù, mentre io ricordo che i giudei del tempo non lo fecero. Questo sia profezia, in quanto ci si deve avvicinare alla realtà razziale e razzista che verrà rivelata nei secoli che saranno. Nel frattempo ricordiamoci che gli ebrei hanno ucciso il figlio di Dio, cioè Dio stesso, e quindi ciò li rende forse più vicini a Morrigan o forse più vicini a Undusia. Taluni sostengono più vicini a Asmodeo o Geova, taluni altri li ritengono blasfemi. Il peccato mortale viene punito con la morte da Geova stesso, che poi Adonai. Tuttavia potrebbe essere vero che Cristo non era il Messia, non so. Spero che vi siate goduti in qualche modo questa strana frequenza, e non posso insegnare esorcismo se non una sola volta mi viene concesso, perché non ce la farei energeticamente a sopportarne le energie, a un sacerdote solo che dovesse fidarsi di me in Roma per venire a casa mia con le migliori intenzioni, ben pregato soprattutto sulla lussuria, non in termini di violenza da parte mia ma in termini di pericolose energie del demonio predominanti, e eventualmente sapere alcuni segreti che potrò io, quando tornerò esorcista, farmi scudo. Quindi che in qualche modo questa persona arrivi, che San Michele lo impedisca, e Lucifero è re e tutti in pace. Cosa dire adesso? Quindi boh, ci avviciniamo a una sorta di era Blade Runner, capito? Una sorta di era dove le persone saranno aperte nel proprio terzo occhio, molte raggiungeranno lo stato massimo di perfezione, dove gli alieni di Sirio comunque davvero esisteranno come messaggeri di Cristo, che lui accettò inconsciamente, e altre verità verranno rivelate. È un tempo specialmente entusiasmante per l'umanità, ed è un tempo totalmente albedo, cioè è totalmente secondo alla rivelazione che viene terza in realtà. Quindi ripeto, chi si trovasse a Roma venga. Mi si conceda di dire che a breve ci saranno potenti benedizioni, powerful blessings per the whole world, il mondo intero. Io faccio il mago, ma mi sono laureato in lingue anni fa e mi sto laureando in filosofia adesso, per cui non è la laurea niente di che. È ovviamente qualcosa di oscuro, il percorso magico, ma non è un qualcosa che debba essere fuorviante, e non è qualcosa che debba essere negativo, è semplicemente qualcosa che può essere utilizzato per voi e per le persone a voi vicine. Vi auguro una buona giornata.